Now that we know what our strategy is going to be and we are in the right mindset to accomplish it, it's time to get started. So let's talk about how to choose the right niche, as well as where the money is. The whole point of this strategy is to upload many simple apps quickly. Now they can all belong to the same niche and have different themes, or you can just go with trending themes and not have a specific niche. Both approaches have pros and cons that we will discuss later. But I personally don't have a single niche. I upload apps belonging to different niches so I can try to appeal to and target different audiences, and I will tell you why. However, I do have a couple of niches that I use more than others. Well, before we start talking about where to go to find a niche or theme, you first need to know who your target audience is going to be. Who are you aiming for? Do you want to target to young adults in their 20s, or do you want to make games for teenagers? Do you want to make apps for professionals, or how about kids? Do you want to make apps that kids will use? Are you aiming for men, women, or both? What's their age? What do people you are aiming for like? What are their interests? What do they do? Do they go to school or university? Do they work? How often do you expect them to be on their phones or tablets, and for how long? Do they have money or access to money? That's an important question, isn't it? Do they have access to money? Before you start looking for app ideas, you need to define your target audience. Now, I will tell you which one is mine and why I chose it. My target audience is kids between 8 and 10 or 8 and 12 years of age. Depending on the app I will do or the topic or theme I choose, I tailor it for either boys, girls, or both. But that is my main audience. Why? Well, like I said before, I used to work as a waiter at a restaurant. Back when I was trying to figure out ways to make money, I used to try to observe people and the way they behave, just in case I noticed something that would give me an idea. And I did. I noticed how a lot of families that went to restaurants with kids between 5 and 12 years old just gave their kids iPads or their own iPhones or iPods so they would just play and get distracted while the adults talked. Even when there were just two parents and one kid, it still happened quite often. I remember seeing groups of like 3 couples that were having dinner as friends, and all their kids were on one side of the table, each with an iPad or at least sharing one, and playing games. I remember thinking, man, the amount of times these kids would have clicked on ads or made in-app purchases must be a lot. I could just picture the parents at the end of the month asking young Timmy why there are $50 extra charged to their credit card from a so-called Crossy Road. Another thing I noticed is that they used to play with apps that were very simple and that had a very basic design, which in my head meant cheaper and quicker design outsourcing. But it is also worth noting that there is a lot of competition with this audience and users are not very loyal per se. They play with your apps a little and then go get the next new shiny one. So I am not saying you need to choose this audience, but I will say that it has worked well for me. Before starting the next video, try to come up with 5 different audience groups. Answer the questions in the slides for each one and try to think of a few pros and cons that each of them has. Please keep in mind your strategy. Many, simple, fast.